then.
Well, what we might do is we might actually put you here, me here, and that over there.
Oh, we're going to freak out everybody.
Yeah, we'll flip it around. Okay, you ready?
All right, let's do it.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Good evening, everybody.
Another Saturday or Sunday evening. Oh, you got your audio up.
I do. Turn that down.
Right.
Okay.
So
Do a little sharing here.
we'll be right with you guys. We'll get the show rocking. So hopefully you got your drinks in hand and your snacks and any questions you might have tonight as we go along.
Episode 466. There we go. Shut that off. There we go.
You got your audio down finally?
Yeah.
All
Share there.
Hopefully everybody's having a great weekend. It's been busy here in the cabin, or at the cabin, I should say, not in the cabin, but at the cabin.
It's been good to catch up on a whole bunch of stuff at home
Right?
with all the bad weather.
What have you been up to lately?
Shooting the bow.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll have to talk about that a little bit then.
Absolutely.
Hopefully,
Tim is on, Tammy's on, Deb is on.
all right.
Right.
Give me just another minute here and I'll be ready to go.
Oh, I'm sliding.
You're sliding.
My mic stand slide. There we go. Now we're not
You
going
good?
in. I'm
All right.
good.
All right. How's that Hunter's Blend?
Good to the hunting drop.
I was like, don't do it.
Nope.
Don't you go there.
That's right.
I knew what you was getting ready to say.
Right?
I was like, you can't infringe upon other people.
That's right. Good to the
Yeah.
good to the hunting drop.
Okay. All right. All
There
right.
we go. See?
Uh-huh. All right, dear. I got to get my volume turned
Mr.
down.
Volume, turn yours down.
I got to access it before I turn it down.
Well, that helps.
Howdy, fellas. This is Tammy. Hello back to you. Hopefully everything's going well.
Travis Minton is now watching.
Hey, Travis.
Tim is watching from West Virginia.
All right.
All right.
It is a good evening to be in the cabin. What do you think? You ready to kick this thing off?
Luke Sitton has joined the show.
Hey, Luke. Thanks for tuning in. Luke, we're going to run that video again that we shot up there at
Yeah,
camp,
Luke.
So,
I haven't seen it yet. Well, I've seen it, but
yeah,
we haven't discussed it.
we haven't discussed it, yeah. I actually ran it last week.
You did.
But I thought,
It was my first time seeing it.
so we ought to get your take on it a little bit here. So you ready to get this thing going?
Yep, let's do it.
All right, here we go. Stand by in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of the Edmonton Journal, everybody. I'm host Mike Adams, sitting in a hot cabin tonight.
It is warm in here, but it's cool outside.
Yeah, I got the window open.
You do have the window opening. Compared to during the week when it was raging 90s.
Yeah, Monday,
Yeah.
that was
Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Memorial
and-
Day.
Yep. And it was all hot out. And a little different story today.
well. If y'all remember, we've been posting a lot, and I talked a little bit about this last week on the show. We had the big surprise coming from PSE Archery on Friday, and they unveiled the new Evolve 28. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention that again. We did a great video and interview with Dan Yasta and Chris Schnur, PSE, the Michigan, Ohio
Sales rep.
sales rep. And
Yeah,
Chris Schnur is a PSE staff shooter. So.
Yeah, he was. They came out and he let us shoot the bow and get our hands on it, do a little touchy-feely thing.
Yeah, so we got a video.
We do, and
Go over and check it out. It's on our Facebook page. Just scroll down from the link that you're probably watching the live stream on if you're watching.
right, go check it out. I'm not gonna lie, I like it.
I loved it.
You know, yeah, I know PSE is a sponsor of Up North Journal, but as I talked about in the video,
Yeah.
me being short as I am,
Yeah.
that bow just fits.
Well, we shoot the 31. And,
Yep.
last year for hunting. That's what I'm going to use this year for hunting. And going 3 inches shorter, steeper string angle, and And the bow was set up exactly like what we shoot. It was set up, maxed out, 60-pound limbs, pushing about 62 pounds roughly.
Yep, Dan said 62 and
27-inch draw, 27 and a half.
And that's
like that.
the beauty of these bows today. He asked, "What's your draw length?"
Right.
"What's Mike's?" I said, "We're about 27. He's about 27 and a half ish.
Yeah.
You know, 2 screws and
Bang, bang.
bang, and okay, here you go. Start shooting."
But to me, when I drew, it seemed to roll over easier and hold. It seemed like the let off was a little even
It was 80,
more.
80%.
It was, yeah, it had the
80s
mods on,
yep.
and I shoot at 90. But I was like, man, it drew smooth. But Chris talked about that being a shorter bow, steeper angle. That it was more in the cam. It was more into
Absolutely. More into the
rollover on it.
correct.
So
And
go and listen to him. He is the technical guy on that stuff, and he can explain it very well.
they both. One thing Dan and Chris can do is they can talk and wrench on bows.
Yep. So they know what they're talking about.
Absolutely.
They can back it up. So
And then
go
we-
and check it out.
Check it out, and then what you didn't see in the video was Dan shooting that bow.
Mm-hmm.
And he had the in the video we have the Family of Evolve video.
Right. And actually, I just released that today. It's on YouTube. It's not on Facebook yet. I'll put that out probably tomorrow
Okay.
on Facebook, or maybe
And-
later tonight.
That Evolve cam system alone is just pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, he called it the Evolve Revolution, or the Resolve to Evolve.
The result.
You
Yep.
know, and he talks about that whole family of bows and how it was built.
Yep.
And he talks about all the bows that are in the family, and how those are set up and who they fit, and it's pretty cool.
It is a cool thing. So go over, check that out. Get to your pro shop and try one.
Absolutely. So, but you've been shooting.
I have been shooting. I've been and okay. So when you get Dan to come around, things happen.
Yeah.
And so we've gone to shooting the stand release.
Well, here, I'll just put it over here on the other camera here. I've moved this camera around.
Oh yeah, you have moved that camera.
Yeah.
And we're now shooting the stand release, and he watched us shoot it, and then said, "Oh, we have to get you guys a spring trigger."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "What?" So needless to say, he added those spring trigger to each one of our releases. And I tell you what, it is that release, and we talked about this before we went on the show, has made a difference. It's hard to explain unless you shoot one.
It is. You know,
It's like I'm used to the old the trigger release that and this is totally different, and it's pretty cool.
well, when we started talking about this last year, and I actually shot one for the first time, I think it was Chris. Chris had one.
Yep.
We were at Cabela's getting our bows worked on, and he just happened to have his there. He's like, "You gotta try this."
Well, we tried the Cabela's Instinct one.
Oh, that's right. It was made
We
by
started out.
Stans,
It was
that's right.
made by Stan for Cabela's. We started out and we tried one of those. That was cool.
And it was, but I'm like, can I make this transition?
Right.
You know, I didn't know.
So, but other than that, I've been shooting all week. 20. I've moved out to 30 yards now. There's the old.
You ever
Old
gonna
faithful.
shoot? You ever gonna shoot one of these again?
I doubt it.
I
really
seriously
doubt
doubt it too. I've been on that one for 2 weeks now.
Yeah, we've had them for 2 weeks now. The first week we had it, it was a, it wasn't a spring trigger.
It was the barrel,
It
right
was
here.
the barrel, and then it was the barrel, full barrel like that. And then Dan said, "Oh, we're going to change that a little bit," and then he switched it to the spring trigger.
So we took the barrel off and put the spring trigger on.
Right. So
And yeah.
Needless to say, we're now shooting stands, and they're getting there. I'm shooting the Ferocity. I'm trying to get that bow tuned in. I'll be tuning in the 35 here. I just ordered a sight, so I got to get the sight in, and then
Okay.
I'll wait on that, and then we'll get that and go from there. But it's something, I don't want to say simple, but just something so you're not used to doing makes it the way you shoot a whole lot better.
Right. Now, are you going to use the Ferocity in the field this year
Yes.
to hunt with? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And you're using the 35, the Evolve
the
35
target,
for
yeah.
target. Okay.
And if I can, I'll use that for hunting as well.
Okay. Purple. Okay. All right.
As long as it's not blue.
Right.
Hey, look how large this is.
Well, hopefully that's going to be in my hand, so deer won't be able to see that.
Are you going to have it in your hand, or are you going to let it hang on your string?
Actually, I'll probably let it hang on my string.
That's, I was running through that in my head when I was sitting. I'm like, so how am I going to handle this? And what I thought of was it's gonna be the hang on the string.
I think so. Yeah, it is what it is. But
Billy Hoffman wants to know what the advantages of the thumb release over a trigger.
Okay, Dan, you're gonna be my string here. So let me see. Yeah, I think we can show it this way.
If you do it right about here.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, no, here. Let me turn to the other camera here. This
right.
For y'all on the podcast, you're gonna have to come over to the live stream to see this. Okay. So when you draw, you turn it sideways like this, and this part of your hand right here, between these two fingers, fits right back here on your jaw. Okay. So there's the anchor point. And as you apply pressure and push back, push, pull, push, pull, push, pull, push, pull, push, pull, it goes off. Because as you release, you can release pressure here, which will cause this to turn and rock into your thumb, or you can move your thumb into it, or you can pull with your pinky and turn into it as you push, pull back.
Okay, now that you've explained that, Charles Byram has a comment that a buddy of his just posted a picture of his face split open from using a thumb release. Third person I know who has done this. Mike?
Make it number 4. Actually, the first time I was at the shop getting the bow set up, I did not have the hook right here all the way on the string loop, and it pinched it, and when I pulled back, it popped and bang.
Literally popped you in the jaw.
Yeah, I didn't see stars, but I cut my lip. My front tooth was a little bit sore. Yeah, so and it will teach you very quickly. And when you pull back on it, that thumb goes behind the barrel. That's how you pull back. And once you anchor, then you come back around and wrap that finger on that spring or the barrel if you've got the barrel.
Exactly. And after you told me that, that's like one of my conscious things. And I did it when the guys were here that I pulled back, and they were freaking out too about.
Right.
But it's just something you learn. And you're right, Billy Hoffman. It is not connected to your body like this one is.
Like this one.
So, but Billy says you better have 2 of them because he knows he's going to drop one for sure. That is a story that Dan Yassa can tell you about dropping his as well from the stand and going down and trying to find it.
Yep.
And luckily he did.
But you can actually take, and there is a hole right here, and you can run a string. You can put a lanyard on it.
Yeah, you can.
So that way it will be around your wrist. But of course you got to get it out of your bag and put it on, that whole 9 yards. The same thing with putting one of these on. I've dropped this style before as well. But if you think about, once you pull back, my old anchor point was back here. It wasn't as defined as this part right here being locked on the back side of my jaw. I mean, that's an exact spot where this, when you come up here, there's movement. You
can punch the trigger.
And that's probably the bigger thing, is you're punching the trigger.
Absolutely.
But depending on how you got if you're reaching for it,
there's several different factors that can go wrong. That it happens.
Go actually look at the video that we shot with Eric Springer at the ATA of stands.
And he explains the advantages of going with one of these, and how he even gets into the point of lining up the elbow to the string through the trigger. It all becomes that motion.
Okay, so here, let's go back to this camera again. When you're using that trigger release, your hand is like this. Your hand is like this, and you get the trigger, and you're squeezing here on the barrel, and you're pulling like this. With this release, if you look at the way my hand is, the fingers are straight. It's a straight line from here all the way back into your shoulder.
Yep.
When you're locked in like this, it's
all straight.
The elbow joint is the only thing that's bent here. but it's a straight line versus being up like this and being twisted and turned. It just eliminates so many other things that can go wrong. And I tell you what, after shooting this thing for 2 weeks, I've put probably 400 arrows through this release already. And my consistency has went way up.
And as far as that's going, Billy, it minimizes the possibilities of things going wrong.
It does.
Now, like Charles Barham says, he would drop 10 of them if they weren't attached to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
So,
here. Let's go back over. Cut back over. Okay, so if you're in the stand and what's wrong with that right there?
right.
You know, there's not the only thing the thing that can go if you're not paying attention is when you grab, don't grab up here. You got to have that thumb behind.
Yep.
You know, and then pull back for your shot. So
It's going to need some practicing. There's no doubt about it. I haven't used one in the field yet, so we'll stay tuned for that episode.
And the other thing I like about this is you can actually practice at home with this and not have to worry about dry firing it. If you look right here, once you lock that into position, there's a little hole down here on the bottom. And if you put this screw in, after you attach it to your bow, you can fire it, and this jaw will not come open. So you can practice form, you can practice firing.
Yep.
You know, repeatedly without dry firing it.
Got it like that.
So
yeah, come check out Stan's video we did for ATA.
that's the best. That's the best way.
He explained it all in a nutshell. Since we're so new to it, new to the Stan family.
Yeah, it's and that guy knows the product inside and out, and he can go through it and guide you down that path. I will say, I was very reluctant to give up my trigger release. You know, you tried it last year,
And I tried a thumb release last year, but only to find out that the thumb was all going the wrong way, I guess, because it was more of a push thumb than it was.
You were a push instead of a pull.
right.
Yeah.
So you know where that ended up.
Yep.
So you know, but you get over there, check out the Stan video. If you want to shoot a nice new short bow, check out the Evolve 28.
All right, I'll tell you what, let's throw it to a break here real quick. We come back, we'll continue this discussion. All right, let me save this off.
Do spot shooters have stands? I don't think so.
He can order them.
But he doesn't have any. Does he have any on? I don't know if he's.
I haven't seen them. I haven't seen them in there, but I haven't looked for them.
I haven't looked for him either.
I don't
know if he does or not.
I'm not sure.
We have to give him a call, Bill. But Bill, you're one of those shooters should try it because I think you'd like it. I think Billy would. For all the shooting that he does and everything.
I tell you what. Another thing about this, while we're in the commercial break here, real quick, Bill, is this did not change my draw length, and it shouldn't. It shouldn't change your draw length.
No, it didn't. You're right.
It changes your anchor point. So,
yep.
I tell you what, Dan and I have talked about doing some shooting. He's invited me to come out and shoot with, was it Thursday night?
Yeah, Thursday nights.
So, if you're over at the club, you're more than welcome to try this at any time.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bill will be there.
Yeah.
He usually is. So if we come there, I think we're talking like getting there about 6.
Probably for me, it'd probably be about between 6:30 and 7.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, we'll put you in front, get up close to a bale, and just try it out. You know, that's the best way to give it a whirl and see what happens. But I was very skeptical, but I'm sold on it.
You just got to practice with it.
Yeah.
Practice.
And to me, it's made a world of difference in my shooting. World of difference.
Absolutely.
So, alrighty. Here we go.
All right.
Next segment here. Hang on one second. All right. Stand by in 3. Oh, whoa.
No, you're not.
Whoa, we got a problem here. Houston, we got a problem. I may have to actually restart this computer. Yeah, we're going to have to do a reboot.
So,
entertain the folks.
Okay, so in the meantime, yeah, Bill, no problem. When we're out there, we both got one, so you can. We're both right-handed, so it's no big deal. You can try it out and see if you like it. It's just one of those things. I'm amazed. I don't know.
Well, put it this way. I wish I'd uploaded the photo, but I haven't yet. The grouping, it's 65 yards.
Yeah.
I set my 65-yard pin, and let's get into that, talking about the site housing next, because I had some issues setting that up. But my 65-yard pin grouping, I was blown away. I was literally blown away. I don't know how many shots are in that photo. I'll post it after the show.
In the 65 photo.
Let's see.
I thought there was like 4 and 1 off to the right. There might have been 6 arrows.
There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
So, 5 and 1.
Yeah, five arrows were grouped like this, 65 yards, and I was setting the pin, and it was just below the bullseye, like inch and a half.
Right.
And then I had one flyer that was about same height, was about 4 inches off to the right that I pulled the shot on. But I've never shot that good at that distance, grouping wise. You know, I can consistently hit around the bullseye, but to put a group together like that I can put my hand around, I was blown away.
Exactly.
And because of that release.
And having Dan and Chris around to watch us and critique us, and I tell you what, after watching Dan pick up, I can't remember the bow he picked up. It wasn't the 28. It was another one. And he did those 6 arrows, and he took the one knock off the other one.
Oh, it was the...
I want to say it was the shoot down, but I'm not sure.
No, the expedite.
Expedite.
It was the expedite.
And
that was the speed bow.
Just watching him shoot, and knowing that this guy is the real deal, and Chris is too. But these guys together just, I mean, wow.
It's mind-blowing.
It is.
It is mind-blowing to watch when you know you think you put a good sequence together, and then you watch somebody else shoot that shoots.
Yeah, that shoots.
That shoots. You know, is yeah.
I know, right? And it was 90 some odd degrees out when we shot that video.
Yes, it was.
You didn't cue the air conditioners.
No, it was so hot Memorial Day morning when I went outside. I'm getting gear outside before y'all got here. And it was 8 o'clock in the morning, and as soon as I opened the door, sweat started rolling off my face.
It was warm.
It was incredibly hot. So we're almost ready here. It's got the reboot going. I apologize for this, folks. Sometimes computers just don't want to act nice.
Wayne Sitton is watching.
Hey, Wayne, how's it going?
Jim Miller, Doris is watching.
Okay, here we go.
All right,
stand by in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. Second segment of the show. We're talking a little bit about shooting bows and the new Stan's release.
You know, we're talking about shooting bows and stuff. But also last week when I wasn't there, you went up north.
Yeah. You want to talk about that first?
Let's go there.
All right. So last weekend, Saturday, I was up at camp, meeting with our consultants that were helping us with the property.
Absolutely.
And with his permission, Wayne Sitton give us a little school on the ground. He let me shoot some video. So I showed this last week, but you weren't here. So I want to kind of banter a little bit back and forth about this.
I just want to see the guy throw a hula hoop.
Well, let me get it lined up here. We're gonna try this one more time. Last week it worked pretty well. So here's the video that we shot up at our camp last week.
Take a look at that. Say, okay, what's in it? What's in a deer will eat. So we'll pull out what a deer's going to go after. He's going to go after that right there. We'll go after that right there. So you get the message that I'm done.
There's not a lot in there. The deer's going to eat.
There's not a lot in there. There's a little maple they'll get. Then this follows up your Anna's deer browse pretty good.
Okay.
But the rest of this is nothing a deer wants. Okay.
Okay.
So, and this is spring, so this comes up and it's done. There's nothing else here for it. Okay. So if you put it out here, everything in there deer will eat. Okay. And it'll come back. They'll eat it, it'll come back, eat it, come back. So if you remember us talking about a acre of food plot is equal to 100 acres of well-managed forest.
Right.
So this circle represents 100 of these out there.
Okay.
So the value you're getting in this little hoop is equal to 100 out there if this was well managed.
If it was.
Yeah. So you're probably 150, you're 149 short out of what you have right here.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep. So your bang for your buck is in your right now is in the food plot.
Yes. If you,
The food source, the amount of
food
food.
source. Right now we're looking at getting the deer in better shape coming out of the winter, because till they recover their body fat, they're going to start growing antlers.
Okay.
Okay, which is what everybody's after is antlers. But for us, you know, we're in the milk cow business right now. We saw a doe that's about to fawn. She needs to make milk. It's going to be tough for her to make milk out there, and she's going to spend a lot of time away from her fawn because she's got to eat.
Which I would think would increase the chances of predation.
Goes through the roof.
Okay.
So if she'll fawn right here close, this food plot, meat, lay down, digest her food, make milk, and feed her fawns, come back and forth.
Okay.
Versus being off chasing some groceries somewhere.
Gotcha.
There you go.
I tell you what, I've met Wayne twice, maybe 3 times, and the more I listen to him and the more he talks, I don't know what it is about his voice or the way that he comes across, but he's like E.F. Hutton. It's like the guy talks, and when we were at the necropsy, he was doing that. You know, Dr. Deere was doing a thing, but when Wayne's voice projects, it projects.
Yeah.
And when a guy takes a hula hoop and throws it in the woods,
You're just jealous because you can't throw a hula hoop
I
like
can't
that.
throw. No.
But you can't swivel those hips, right?
Yes, I can.
And for those of you on the podcast, I'm sorry you didn't get to hear that, but actually, you know what? Maybe I can cut the audio and throw it on there. We'll see how that works out.
It just goes to show you that what he was saying, just by using a hula hoop as a reference,
Right.
and saying, because I think when he threw it in the woods, he picked I think it was like 6 to 8 things, this, and this,
Right.
that they're gonna eat.
Yep.
Nothing else.
Right.
And then he took it and he threw it in a food plot, and he said basically they're gonna eat all of that, and it's gonna come back.
Right.
And it's like, wow, you know, I know some people always wonder about food plots and why do you do it, and well, this goes to show you, and he talked about it. It's fawning season. It has nothing to do with hunting season.
Right now, no.
It's basically getting that fresh green up for the does, so they can have somewhere to go to eat, to produce milk for their fawns that they're about to drop or dropped. And the more they have to go browse, the farther away they get away from their little ones. And like you said, and you said it, predation goes through the roof.
That was, to me, that's the one thing that the take home for me was the fact that I've never made the relationship with a food plot to predation. I've never thought about that.
No, and you know, you think about it, and he put it into really good terms. Is she's going to eat here, go over there, drop her fawns, and come right back, eat, make milk, go feed, repeat.
Yeah.
Where, okay, if you got to go into the woods and scrounge, you're going that further away. So if you're thinking about food plots, then it's surely just in the health of the herd. The advantages are just getting that green up that they can eat plenty of and have it regenerate for them.
Right.
I mean, like I said, when he talks, and he knows his stuff, it's not like he just pulled this.
Well, let's throw this into the equation and just expand just a little bit. Now, put a bunch of does on the field or in the woods. Put a bunch of them out there. Okay, so you've got all these different does that are fawning now. They're competing for that same forage.
Yeah, they are. They're you know, you take that one hula hoop of 8 things and pick 5 doe, or pick 8 does.
Right.
That pick 8 things. Okay.
Yeah.
You know.
And multiply that by however many.
Right. So
that's another reason keeping your doe population in check, to keep your buck to doe ratio correct, keep your herd in the right balance.
To get your herd in the right balance, to get the health of the herd better.
Yeah,
It isn't about hunting. It isn't about. It's about it's scientific health of the herd.
you know, the more I read, the more I study this stuff, the more I listen to people. It just, you start, like I said, I equate it to a puzzle. I'm putting little pieces together here, here, and here, and you start seeing things. But it just blows my mind, some of the things that you really don't think about, and all of a sudden you get a piece of information like that, and it's like, wow, I never thought of it that way. And then it shows you the importance of keeping, the right amount of deer on your property, number one, but then, and not too many, and keeping the right ones on top of that, and then the food plot and the habitat, and goes along with the logging, making sure you got the right forage.
Exactly.
All it plays together.
Just like he said about, okay, you the food plot, but then it's also about the health of your forest.
Yeah.
If your forest is healthy, the food plot isn't necessarily a bigger factor.
Yeah.
It helps.
Yeah.
But if you've got a healthy forest,
Yeah.
then it all works.
Yeah.
But if you've got an old forest, where like he showed,
Yeah.
then you're gonna have some problems.
Yeah, and that's part of what we're working on in
Absolutely.
our place right now with the logging process. And and I read something today that Dr. James Kroll had put out earlier today, shared on the page, about prescribed fire.
Okay.
In the way it works in conjunction with the habitat, and it does certain things. And he was equating it back to era gone by now, back, I believe, when the buffalo were here. And you need to go over and read it, because I can't really explain it that well. But he was talking about how when one animal comes in and uses the new growth after a fire, and what they do to the landscape, how that helps create habitat for other animals. It all starts kind of working together.
Yep.
But prescribed fire is another tool to use to keep your habitat renewed and keep it going.
Renewing, keeping your forest healthy.
So, but I'll tell you what, we're bumping up here on our second break. When we come back, I want to run through something that I came across today when I was shooting with the sites on the site housing, that problem that I had to work around.
All right, let's do it.
So we're going to step outside, and we'll be right back after this. And my dog is barking at something. Somebody must be here at the cabin.
You think?
I would tend to think so. And I want to give a shout out to Wayne and Luke for allowing me to shoot that video and being able to present it here. It's just a little bit of information and how it can really impact.
Absolutely.
The way you think about things.
I wonder if the real story with Wayne is how he figured that out with the hula hoop. I bet you he was hula hooping.
I'm not going to ask. Wayne, if you're still on, his name is Dan DeFaw. You can reach him at Dan DeFaw at upnorthjournal.com. Oh. Yeah, he tried to get me to do that. He wanted me to do the hula hoop. No, I wasn't doing it. My hips don't move like that anymore. Maybe back in the day, but I'm too old for that now. I can't move as fast.
There you go.
Here we go.
Dan Anderson says, "Evening, guys."
Hey, Dan, what's going on?
Hello, Wisconsin.
That's right. Here we go. Stand by in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody. Third segment of the show, and you can see right here, we got the bow up here, got the site housing. I don't know if you can actually see the pin gaps on that. That's pretty small. I'm looking at the monitor there. It's kind of hard to tell. But what I came across today is when I started sighting this new site in, this Copper John, I had my 20-yard pin, up here towards the top, and then I started working my way down. I got to the 30 or 25, 35, and then I started working on my 45. And the reason, I guess I should explain why I'm going on 5-yard increments instead of like 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. I'm going 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, is Jim Beasley at Spot Shooter.
Who is now watching?
Hey, Jim, he is?
He is watching.
Talk about timing. Is that when you're shooting the hunter division in targets, and that's what this is my target setup, is you want to start at 25 because you can make that adjustment back to 20.
Right.
And then when you're at 65, you can actually step it out and shoot that 70 or maybe that 80. But it gives you a little more versatility than starting at 20 because you're only allowed 5 pins.
Yep.
So that would stop you at 60, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So
if you go out 5 more, you can get up to 65.
yeah, and it gets you closer to that 80-yard shot.
Right.
So that being said, I did the 25, the 35, and I started doing the 45. And as I started sighting it in, here, let me flip back around to the other camera now. I noticed that I was going to run out of clearance in the housing.
Okay. Yep.
That my last pin, by the time I got it sighted in, was going to be, it wouldn't have room.
Right.
And I'm like, man, I said, I should have thought this through a lot better. So what I did is I dropped my bottom pin down just about as far as I wanted it in my sight housing.
Okay.
And I knew roughly that I could hit the bail at 65 with that. I knew it was going to be somewhat close. I wasn't going to lose an arrow. So I reared back, let one fly, and shot another one. I shot 3. And I was pretty low. So I did a gang adjustment on the sight.
On the housing itself.
On the housing. I dropped the housing. I kept dropping. I actually went 3 full turns down until I got that thing on. And then I tweaked it and got it to where it was shooting on target or on bullseye. So at that point, then I started backing up. Then I went back to that 45-yard pin, and obviously it was going to be shooting high. So I tweaked that. I tweaked the pin in.
Yeah.
Okay, at that point. Then I went to the 35. And I got it close, but by the time I got to that point, my shoulder was giving up.
Oh, yeah.
I was tired, and I was starting to lose my concentration and my grouping. I'd probably run 70, 80 arrows today, and I was just, shoot. So I was like, put the bow away. It's kind of like, I guess, guys when they golf.
When you get tired,
Yeah,
when you do something, you get tired. When you're practicing and you start to get tired, just put it away.
Yeah.
It's in anything that you do. Once you get tired, stop.
Yeah.
Because it's not value added at that point.
Yep.
And whether you're golfing, bowling, anything.
So now I know when I go to that 25-yard pin, I got plenty of clearance that I can raise it. So now my stack is going to be set within that housing.
Right.
So,
And yes, Dan Anderson, you did see Mike shooting. It was at 65 today.
65 yards, yes.
It was 65 that he was shooting. That's the picture that you posted.
Yeah, I don't think I posted that picture.
Or
Let me go back over here real
I think
quick.
you were. You posted a picture.
Let's see. What picture did I post? It was 65.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, it was.
So yes, he did see you shooting at 65.
Yeah.
So there you go. But like you said, you're getting tired, and it's
Yeah.
just like, shut it down and come back tomorrow.
Yeah. So I guess the moral of the story, thinking back about what I went through, is when you start sighting in, and if you're sighting in something, take into consideration how many pins you're going to have, and think about, okay, when you don't want that, if you're going to set 20, most people sight in at 20, that you don't want it, towards the center of that aperture, because by the time you get done, if you're shooting 5 pins and you're stacking them at 10 yards apart,
You want to get that housing down
yes,
when you're shooting multiple pins.
you want to make sure there's going to be enough room
for all the pins.
all the pins in there.
Yep.
Correct.
Absolutely. So absolutely, and see, that's one of the things you got to get around. So it's like, okay, figure it out. You had to make a gang move.
Yep. But man, the 25 and 35 were dead on, man. I mean, when I realized what I'd done, I was just like, oh no.
Yeah, right. Well, that's why we practice. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
That I've done that reset and said, okay, let's start all over again.
Yeah.
So, but it's good to get out there and shoot those. And now that you're at 65, to pull off the 80 is just you'll know the adjustment.
Yeah, I know what it is on my hunting bow.
Right.
Yeah. This one I haven't
Haven't gotten there yet.
I haven't gotten there yet. So, I don't know. I don't know what my holdover is going to be. I'm going to have to do some practicing.
And there isn't much flinching at holdover point.
No.
Not at 80.
That if you look at that photo, that one that's about 4 inches to the right,
Right?
there was there was a flinch there, but it wasn't anything that I really noticed. It's just, yeah, It's tough, man.
I know it is.
Holding on, but I got to thank the release, man. This new release is definitely improved my shooting.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I just don't want to bust my mouth again.
No, let's not do that.
So
Let's not do that because now that you've got the sight, what do you think? How do you like the counterbalance weights? Have you noticed anything different? You haven't noticed anything?
it's part of my procedure. Dan talked about the process.
Yes.
Everybody, when you're shooting target, you need to develop a process.
Yep.
A shooting technique that you go through every single time and build your process. What I wonder is how it's going to correlate to the stand for me when I'm hunting.
When you got a deer in front of you and...
Well, I'm wondering because
Well, yeah, no, exactly.
I don't have a back bar on my hunting rig. I don't
Right.
I don't have this back bar here.
Yep.
But this right here, that's part of my process now. That right there, when I get ready to knock an arrow, that right there goes right into the pocket on my hip right here.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
And it fits me perfectly to where I can pull an arrow, index it, put it on, flip the rest up, lock on my release, and go through my shooting.
So what's it going to change when it goes to hunting? When you don't have that bar
Yeah, I don't know.
and the target is now brown and furry
I don't know.
and walking.
Yeah, I
or
don't know.
stopped, whatever it's doing.
So
But I just wondered how you were liking the sidebar.
I think it keeps you from torquing. You know what I have noticed, and this may be part of it, is part of that is when I draw and pull up, I'm watching my level in my sight housing. So when I come to full draw, my goal is to be level.
You're probably pretty close there.
It's almost spot on every time, and I really think this counterweight over here on the side, it keeps you from wanting to do this.
Yep.
Versus the one out front keeps you wanting to tweak left or right.
I think it's a combination of the sidebar, but also the release.
Yeah, because it just balances, man. It just
Right in your hand.
it's really amazing what just a few little things that I've never used before.
Right?
How it's really enhanced my shooting.
Absolutely. It's just
What about you?
same thing. Like I said, with the new release, we're shooting we're shooting the reds. I'm shooting the Mayhem. I'm shooting SD, the small diameter arrows. And it's putting it all together from Carbon Express, stands, PSC, the whole 9 yards to get that follow through, to get the process. I kind of been working on one this week as to, okay, I'm going to do this. Mainly this week has been, now that Dan gave us the new spring trigger, trying to make sure I don't biff myself in the mouth.
Have you used it yet?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And
I haven't hit myself in the mouth.
okay,
A little paranoid about that. That's okay. Thanks to you. You're like a safety video in my head.
thanks.
But
I'm glad I wasn't videotaping that.
right? It would be
Live streaming that.
Oh, that would be a good one.
Yeah.
But shooting, all that is just, I'm just working on it.
Okay.
Slow and steady.
All right. And you've seen
I've seen an improvement.
okay, noticeable improvement.
To me, shooting myself, yeah. When I'm,
Okay.
and sometimes a little frustrated, thinking the group I had should have been better.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I have a better group, I thought that would be worse. It's like all mental. It's like, oh man,
Like golf.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
like walk down, because I shoot 3 arrows.
Mm-hmm.
I just shoot 3 and see where I go, and it's just like, and then I walk down there and go, well, it wasn't too bad.
Well, now, so you don't keep binoculars with you?
Actually, no, I haven't been. No, I shoot, and then I'll walk down range. It kind of gives me a break to shoot. Let my dogs go run in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Come back, shoot, walk down. It's just a little bit of a break in between, so I'm trying not to get too fatigued or anything like that. And especially last week when it was so hot, it was just like, ugh.
Right.
But anyways, but you just the process. Okay, so making sure the releases is knocked.
Mm-hmm.
making sure it's there for sure. It's
on
not
the
pinching.
D-loop,
Yeah.
yep.
And then I'll let it hang there, or I'll look at my arrow and make sure that's indexed right. Or it just looking at all the different things that we're using this year, and then applying everything that Dan's got in your head, or Chris, is, do this and do that, and making sure your anchor point, making sure your release. And I've caught myself a couple times jumping and collapsing.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Instead of pulling through the shot?
Yeah, I collapsed, and well, that was goofy, but it's part of the process, right?
Right.
So it's all in practice.
Yeah, I think that's one thing I've been really working on right here this last couple times I've been out is my follow through of just making sure that when I do release it, I explode backwards.
Right.
That shot comes, or the hand comes back and follow through, and when I'm doing that, and that push-pull sequence, I've noticed it's almost like a surprise when that bow goes off. And it's just a fluid motion, and you watch that arrow, and you just see the impact, and you know you've executed a good shot.
Exactly.
It's almost, I guess I equate it to guys maybe that play baseball. When you hit the sweet spot, you don't even feel it, and the ball just goes flying.
As opposed to when you don't, and it vibrates through your hands, and you see the guys shaking their hands.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
Absolutely.
Watching, like you talked about Dan and talking about Chris shoot and watching them shoot. You ever watch Hansen shoot?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's just like he's like a machine, and that's that repetitive boom, boom. It's just like a machine.
But he did have one today, a comment today that it was on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Something about shooting, and then being stupid about it. So something tells me something might have went a little awry.
I did see that, yeah.
But it's like it happens to everybody.
Sure.
Just like we saw it in the video from Lancaster, that gentleman.
Well, I dwarfed 2 shots today. Or no, not today. Yesterday. I was shooting in the evening. Sun's starting to, get down the horizon a little bit. Bugs start to come out. And I shot quite a few arrows already, and I was towards the end of what I was going to do. And I'm just ready to release. I mean, as I start to execute that shot, a bug goes between my glasses and my eyelash.
Oh!
And I just explode, and I hit the backstop.
Right?
I was like, what just happened? I was like, man, get out of there.
The bugs in your eye, right?
And then I had another one do the same thing, and I shot low. It was on my leg. It landed on my leg just as I was shooting. It's just those little things that disrupt you.
Absolutely. And it's all part of the process, and when the process gets interrupted,
yep,
that's what happens.
Yeah. So, what do you do in the stand when mosquitoes are flying around?
Right. Well, stay tuned, right?
Right. So,
you can have your thermosol with you.
All right, I'll tell you what. Let's step outside. We'll take our last break. We come back. We'll continue talking about shooting bows and whatever else we can conjure up here. So,
right.
We'll be right back after this. All right, everybody on the live stream, got questions? Throw them at us. Last segment here. Oh, you got the shotgun.
Yeah.
I bet you Tim's been waiting the whole show for this.
Well, it's about ready for Tim time.
All right.
I was going to let that go away.
Okay, just making sure. All right, let's save this off. Got that? Well, let's just go ahead and we'll jump right into that.
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Welcome back.
Last segment of the show. 466.
466. Chugging along to 500.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And also chugging along, one of our sponsors every Friday night, Lim Walker Game Calls.
Mm-hmm.
Tim, see us himself, doing a live stream. He's been doing it every Friday, talking turkey. Anything turkey, really. It's been
this Friday wasn't. We talked turkey, but it got taken way down the road.
Well, it's funny. So far, he's talked about elk. He's talked about bear.
Mm-hmm.
But that's good, though. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like he's got their bear season is pretty interesting down there. Like he said, at his mom's place, they have a lot of bears, but where he's located, to see a bear is something special.
Yep.
And so
But they have a lot of hunting days compared to what we have here in Michigan.
Right, because here we have a week.
You've got a week. Depending on which zone and how it all shakes out, when it is. But yeah, it's you pick your season, you pick your area, and it's a lottery draw. So
I gotcha. And yes, Tim has enjoyed the show as usual, but yes, he's been waiting.
Well, let's get to it.
All right, so on Tim's show Friday night, there was a gentleman that he was asking for questions, and somebody asked, and I don't remember his name off the top of my head, he asked about a shotgun.
Right.
What shotgun to use. And you could go anywhere from a Remington to a Browning to a Winchester.
Mossberg.
Yeah.
Charles Daly.
Yeah, pick whatever. And somebody said, and I just happened, and I don't know how old this gentleman is, if he's a youngster or not, but I said, hey, price of the gun and everything out there, depending on what you're looking for, a Mossberg is not a bad deal.
Right.
And matter of fact, I got the Mossberg 500, the turkey gun. It's got the stock. It's got the pistol grip stock, and
show everybody the action's open on this before we.
Action's open. See, nothing's in there. So Tim asked me if I could bring this on the show, and I said, okay, I will.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna let you talk about it. I'm gonna pull my mic down here. I'm gonna jump over to the other camera,
right.
And that way I can kind of run camera
right, go ahead.
while you're talking here. So
this gentleman was on the show asking about it, and I just got this gun a couple years back, and I'll put it up here. Am I on that camera? Yeah. Okay.
right now.
So there you go. It's a Mossberg 500. It's in 20 gauge. I've got on here a True Glow, turkey stop, a gobbler turkey stop, red dot. It comes in red and green. You can switch the optics in there. It comes with a dot and a circle. The circle represents 24 inches at 30 yards. So when you're patterning your gun, you can see what your pattern's doing. So, but other than that, this gun, I was pleasantly surprised when I shot this, how smooth it was shooting. But what I liked about it is because my wife also hunts, and so does my girls. And us being in the smaller stature, and this is what's nice about this, is you can take this and adjust this stock. So if you got somebody that's a little bit taller, framed, they can take that out there and make it bigger, or pull it in tighter for shorter. And you can adjust this however you want, which is kind of like really nice. And then you get the pistol grip.
How many stops does that have on the stock? You just knocked your mic over.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Now fix your mic.
I'm going to. Hold on. There's going to be... Hold that. Ooh.
Can't take you anymore.
No, you can. Seems tight, but anyways, so there's 5 stops on there, and then that's adjustable. Other than that, the pistol grip, it's a pump action, and I tell you what, it's a very nice smoothing gun. It's got the turkey choke on it, right there.
And Magnum ported.
There's the turkey choke. That'll come out. There's your turkey choke that came with the gun. And then this year, I had it Magnum ported, and I don't know if you can see that, but along here.
Rotate the barrel just a little more. And you can start to kind of see through there.
Okay. And in there, and on both sides, is Magnum porting. And I got that at a one of the benefit dinners that I silent auctioned, and I won that. And I had it done this year. I haven't been able to shoot it with the Magnum porting, but I can't wait to. Now, the Magnum porting does not hurt the efficiency of the gun at all, but it does reduce the kick. Now, it's funny you say that, because I thought this gun, for being a 20 gauge, didn't kick as bad as a 12 gauge.
All right.
Now, there's the shot that I've been shooting. These are 3-inch 20 gauges. This is number 5 shot.
We're back up here now.
Back up there. So that's what I'm shooting out of this gun. And my groupings for the number 5s, 20 gauges to find in multiple shot sizes is tough. And basically what's happened is I've found 5s. So I shoot 5s.
Really? I always found 6s.
Well, the last couple of years I've only been able to find 5s.
Okay.
And it's just one of those things, so you deal with it.
How do you like the red dot?
I love the red dot. This one, the difference between this red dot and the red dot on my 12 gauge is this one's got the circle. The other one's just a dot.
Just a dot. Okay.
Right. So actually, when you paper tune this in and you shoot at Williams, which is 25 yards, you can see exactly where your pattern is in that window of the circle.
Okay.
So it kind of helps you.
Right.
So
gotcha.
I like it. And, and you can go red or green. I think I got green there.
Different intensities.
Yep.
Okay.
But yeah, when you look through there, you can see,
Oh, yeah.
So if you're going...
You got the circle and you got the dot in the center of the circle.
Yep. And so you just put it right where you want it to go, touch it off, and away you go. So, but I just wanted to bring that on for Tim. Now do something.
Okay, so all in all, what did this setup cost you, minus the magnet porting?
Mine.
How much was the gun?
The scope, $75. The gun was. Got it on sale at Cabela's a few years back, and I want to say it was $3 something.
Regular price $4 something?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
But, yeah, no. And then, I don't know, I just like that. That convenience, everything. It's a smooth shooting gun, surprisingly. I was shocked, actually, when I shot this compared to the Remington that I got, the 12 gauge. Big difference. So, but no, I wanted to bring that on for Tim to show. And he can tell the gentleman to take a look. And this gun in 20 gauge, and I've heard a lot of people say 20 gauges are nice, and they are. Even for deer hunting for 12, I love it.
Tim wants to know what the total weight of the gun is. Do you know?
I don't know offhand. It's a good question.
7 pounds?
Probably.
6 pounds? 7 pounds? Somewhere in there?
That sounds about right. And I haven't added anything to it except putting the scope on it.
Okay. You got composite foregrip on it. You got composite stock.
Yep.
So I guess I would think it probably weighs a little less than a standard Mossberg 500 20 gauge.
Right. So it just.
You're going to Google it, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Hang on one second, Tim. We'll get you an answer.
The great of the internet.
Right? Those are pictures. Those are just pictures.
Yeah, it's not going to give me the link to it like I wanted.
He looks at pictures. He has a hard time reading.
Really? Really?
Right there it is.
Wait.
Weight 6 3/4 pounds to 7 pounds.
There you go.
Man, was I close or what?
You were good. You were good. So there you go. So Tim, have your friend check one of these out, Mossberg. For as much as I shoot, Mossberg's always been good to me. I've got Mossberg 500s.
Right.
I'm not a trap shooter by say, so
right.
They fit my bill.
Right. I got you.
So now I got to remember to turn the scope off or else I'm going to have a dead battery.
Yep. Make sure you do that right now. Turn to the off position.
Right. There you go.
So, yeah, our turkey season's over with.
Because we're in June.
Yeah, tag sandwich here, tag soup or whatever you want to call it. So, looking back, I had fun. I took a new hunter out. That was my goal this year.
Yeah, he loved it.
I knew where the birds were. We got on birds. I got to hunt solo one evening or morning, one morning hunt. So I chased birds all over. You go back and listen to that episode, and you can hear how out of breath I was after that morning. So
gotta get back on the bike, man.
I did today. I rode today.
All right.
Yes, I did. I rode 5 1/3 miles today.
Excellent.
Yeah, and the last half mile into a 20-mile-an-hour headwind uphill was a killer. I thought I was going to die.
Now you gotta put the weighted pack on.
Interesting. I've thought about that.
I've seen a couple guys running
Yeah,
around the city,
running packs.
running with it. I think it's just a weight pack.
Yeah, yeah.
Man,
I wonder if they're doing some like maybe out west hunting or something like that.
they potentially could be, or they could be doing those. Not just a run. It's like
Triathlon?
the obstacle thing, where they do the obstacle courses and stuff.
Okay.
Like an Ironman thing.
Right. You do the swimming, you do the biking, you do the
Yeah.
running and all that. Yeah.
But, it's just one of those things. But it's June, so now we got to turn our attention to some fishing.
Yeah, after we get off the show here, I was actually going to bring that up to you. So how strange that you mentioned that.
I worked on our aluminum tin can a little bit, got the trailer back to working.
Okay.
Found it had 2 different size tires on it. I'm like, what? Because I had one go bad, right? I'm like, okay,
So as you ride down the road sideways?
Well, I was like, okay, so Kelly and Gabby helped me, and I was like, okay, let's pull these tires off. Let's look at the size. So I pulled a bad one off. It's 4.7. I'm like, okay, by 8. All right. And I said, Gabby, what's that one? She goes, 5.7? I went, what?
Yeah.
So I pulled them both off
taller.
and said, yeah, we're not going to do this. Mm-hmm. So I went and bought 2 new tires, new lights.
Got it all wired?
It's got it all wired.
You rewired it.
Yep.
How'd you like that?
Half hour.
Yeah, I hate wiring.
Piece of cake.
Absolutely hate it.
I love it. It's boom, boom, boom.
Okay, the next time it needs to be done on mine, I'll have you do mine.
Okay. I taught Gabby how to do it. We showed her, we did it and got it through. And so I had to fix a hole in the boat because of an arrow.
Were you bow fishing?
No.
You missed a target?
No. Well, it wasn't me.
Oh, yeah. He says it wasn't him, folks.
It wasn't me. But it was kind of funny when we
How come I haven't heard this story yet?
It's my daughter.
Okay.
I'm not going to embarrass her.
Okay.
Till now. But last year, we were shooting the bows, and the boat was close to the target, and I said, just don't hit the boat. Ding!
Yeah.
So
She had a mosquito go between her eye and her glasses.
Something like that. So
See, I can understand that.
So I got some. I use JB Weldon for aluminum and water, and so we'll see how that goes.
Is it below the water line?
Yeah.
Is it in the bottom of the boat?
No, side of the boat.
Okay, so you'd be able to tell pretty quick.
Oh yeah. So we're at the point now. We got to go test launch it.
I think you'd be all right.
I think so too. It didn't go through basically the field point. Just put its tip through and then went back.
Okay, so you just got a crack in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be fine.
So I'd like to get out there, do some fishing now. Mm-hmm. So hopefully during the week we'll go launch the. I have a name for the boat. The SS Red, I guess. I don't know. I'll have to name it.
How about the Holy Skiff?
It might be. It might be. But other than that, yeah, we're into month 6 of the year.
I know, it's almost half over. Now we're less than 6 months away from the opening day of firearm deer season.
And we're only 20-something days from losing
Daylight.
Yeah,
so July, August, September, October. We're less than 4 months away from the opening of bow season. And less than that early seasons where whoever's got those going on. Yeah.
And then
3 months to goose season.
And that starts hunting seasons like in Kentucky and stuff. Don't they do like a September 1st for velvet?
I think it's the 15th. I think it's the 15th.
But still, okay.
Yeah, it's going to be here before you know it.
Hopefully we'll be getting. We're talking with Cabela's to see when we're going to be down there. Mm-hmm. So we'll let everybody know when we hear about that. Some things going on, obviously, with the Bass Pro Cabela's thing.
Still shaking
working out kinks.
Yep.
So stay tuned. We'll be down there for sure, probably for the something hunting.
Yeah, it's going to be here before you know it.
It is, and then it's going to be one of those things. Dave Hamady says, "Hey,
Hey, Dave.
We're going to blink and we're going to be hopefully October 1st up in a tree somewhere."
Yeah, I don't think the first falls on a weekend this year. And I was debating. It really depends on the weather and how hot it is, whether I'm going to get up and be up on the opener, or if I'm going to be up that opening weekend. And I think I've got
Monday.
I think I've got week 2 off. Actually, no, that's the calendar right there.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I'm off on the 15th. Is the 15th the third week?
1, 2, 3. Yes.
Yeah, I think I got that week off.
Okay.
I think that's when I plan on going up.
Sweet.
So, and I may slide that. I don't know. We had planned on that bear hunt in September. We just couldn't make that work for us. So I'm going to take that week and probably shuffle it probably to the first week in November.
Okay.
So,
are you going to do the first week in November? With the first in it, or the first full week of November?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Halloween is a Wednesday this year.
I'm probably going to look at the moon phase and make sure that we don't have like a full moon in the middle of the night when all the animals like to go nocturnal and never come out. So, I mean, it makes it worse.
I tell you what, watching that, I don't know if you fully believe in it or anything like that, but I truly believe that it does pay a little bit into it, because
it's the amount of light.
It is.
It's not like the moon makes them do something magical. I mean, we've seen studies from a bunch of different researchers that moon phase does not dictate certain things with deer. What I think it is, it's the amount of light that allows them to be able. I mean, they can see at night anyway, but it just makes them a little more active.
Exactly, and think about that. When you can go out in the middle of the night, and I've done this up north, stand on the porch, and you basically can see all the way across your yard, and if somebody was standing there, you could tell who it was. It's pretty bright.
Yeah, and you can see a shadow.
And you see the shadows. So just imagine what they can see.
Right. Yeah.
So it's one of those things. It's just, I'll look at the calendar too. I know I've got a wedding and a concert to go to in October, so it'll be here before you know it, but it's June. So we got some fishing to do, we got some shooting to do, we got some
lots of stuff to do.
Yep, we're gonna get out and do some fishing. That's the plan.
So, well, I'll tell you what, folks, for the podcast portion of it here, we're gonna sign off, and we'll let you guys here on the live stream throw some questions at us if you got anything. So for everybody on the podcast, get back over, check out the videos that we showed tonight on our live stream, which you're going to be posting on Wednesday.
I'll repost it on YouTube on Wednesday.
And this portion will be saved actually on our Facebook page. So, and make sure to give us a like if you haven't already. Share any of the stuff that we've got. If you like it, share it with your friends. We appreciate it.
All right, and if you're thinking about, talked about it tonight. Some turkey hunting season's over, but you want to start practicing. Get yourself a Limb Walker game call.
Yep, absolutely.
I mean, you can
go over to his page. Limb Walker game calls on Friday night at
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. I always get that wrong. I always think it's 7 for some reason.
It's 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. And he does a live stream much like we do right here and takes questions. And actually, I had him talking. Actually, he started talking a little bit of archery, and then I took him down that road.
Right.
We just kept on about it. So it was really good talk. We had a lot of fun. So, but yeah, go over and check out his live stream as well. And especially if you're thinking about doing some turkey hunting, maybe in the fall. So.
Yep.
But that's all I got for us this week.
All right. We'll see everybody next week. Same place, same time, right here.
All right, everybody. For the live stream, if you all got anything, throw it at us here real quick before we sign off. Hopefully everybody's got plans for the upcoming week. Is Father's Day this coming weekend?
Oh.
I'm just wondering. I think it is. What's this coming weekend?
10? 9, 10? Or is it 16, 17?
Oh, let me see. I can tell you in 1 second here. Click on my calendar. It should tell me. The 17th is Father's Day. So we got not this weekend, not this coming weekend, but the following weekend. 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today. It's Father's Day. So there you go.
Alrighty.
check in here real quick, see if anybody else has got anything for us tonight before we sign off. Throw them at us now, guys. Make it quick.
All right.
All right. I don't see anything here, so we're going to sign off for this evening. And like I said here, for the guys on the podcast, tell you guys on the live stream, same thing. You know, if you get a chance, take. Oh, Tim says, yes, enjoyed the live on the limb. Whitetail 2 lives forever. I got to mention this. Were you on the live stream at that point?
I was on it when you got on it. Then we talked about hot weather, turkey hunting, about the gun. And then I was having a little bit of issues with what was going on a little bit towards the end of the show.
Somebody, I don't know if it was Tim or if it was somebody else, talking about the first bow. Everybody started like,
oh, about the whitetail. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody had a whitetail.
Yeah.
My brother had one.
Yeah.
I had a Proline. I don't remember the name of it. It was a Proline because I remember seeing Proline on the limb.
Yeah.
And it was, my brother took me down to the archery store and got that. But yeah, he had a whitetail.
And everybody started chiming on his live stream saying, yep, me too, me too, me too. It is just like, I think that's what everybody started out with. You know, I remember I was like 12, 13, 14 when I got my first bow, and that's what it was.
There you go.
And actually, you talk about shooting the boat. I put a hole in our pole barn in the roof. I want to see how high I could shoot up.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think about it coming. I'm glad it was the pole barn and not the house.
When we started shooting, and we got my dad a bow, he missed the target and put a hole in our neighbor's garage.
Nice.
Yeah.
Neighbor was mad?
No.
Not really?
Nah.
Yeah.
I wasn't one of those neighbors.
Oh, okay. So.
But it was fun. Oh yeah, whitetail extreme whitetail.
Whitetail 2.
Whitetail 2, is that what it was? I remember. I can see the cables.
Yep.
On the thing.
Yeah, there were cables.
Yeah.
Yeah, wheels, no pulley, no cams. So
what's that?
Right. Back in the day.
Not compared to now.
Right. So. All right, folks, we're going to tune out now. So if you guys got anything this week, you know, feel free to throw us questions. You know, you can message us. You can put it on our Facebook page. You got pictures of something, fish you're taking or what have you. You know, feel free to interact with us. We're usually on quite a bit during the day on Facebook, back and forth, Twitter as well, YouTube. Oh, I want to give a quick shout out to the Sittons, Shasta Sitton, which is Luke's wife. If you guys remember, back right before Christmas, we had her on the show talking about her books that she writes, and they're outdoor books for children. And she just released her latest one, and it is about trout fishing. What's the title there, Danny? You got it? Is it get it right there?
I'm looking. I don't see the title of this one.
But she's got
Grace and Wyatt's Fishing Adventure.
Grace and Wyatt's. Remember,
Yep.
one was Grace went bow hunting with her mom,
And then Wyatt.
went hunting with a rifle or a shotgun with his grandpa.
Yep.
And they were both deer hunting books.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this one's about trout fishing. And actually, if you go onto her Facebook page, we'll share this on our page. She's having a giveaway. Share that on our Facebook page right now, if you don't mind, Danny.
I will.
And you guys get involved in that. But I'm telling you what, I've got these books for my grandson, and they're awesome. It's the illustrations in these things are unbelievable, and the color that just pops out of these things, but the storytelling as well. It's just it's a great book if you've got kids or grandkids, or maybe you don't. Maybe you know somebody that would really enjoy one of these. You know, check them out. So, but the link's on there, and she's having a giveaway. So get over to that page and check it out, and get into that giveaway.
And look on our page because I just shared it.
There it is. It's on the Up North Journal Facebook page. So, all right, folks, that'll do it for us this week. Y'all be safe out there.